Welcome everybody. We're going to get started here today, so we're just going to make sure everything is all set and going here, which looks like it is. If you haven't met me before, my name is Josh Blakeley. I am the owner and founder of Landscape and Hardscape Contractor Marketing, and today we're going to be doing this webinar session on the Google Maps Playbook for landscape and hardscape contractors. So in everything we're doing here, we're going to be focused on what happens with your Google Business Profile, formerly a Google My Business Profile, and how it relates to getting found when people are searching in your area for your services. So we're going to dive straight into things here. So firstly, this is one component what we do for our clients in terms of driving more leads to their business online. So you can see here, this is the accelerated growth model. We've got the core of that made up of organic SEO, paid search, and then database reactivation are other key things. But really, the organic SEO, Google Business Profiles, and the Google Maps listings, they are absolutely key in terms of getting you found to drive leads into your business. Now, we're going to touch on a little bit more on these other sections as well in terms of the maximizing conversion side of things. And a lot of that is going to be around the website, your reputation, and we're going to touch on some automation side of things as well. And that's really the core of what the Google Business Profiles are about. They're not a paid lead service, they're an organic service. So you're not paying Google to be in these different positions to get found, although you can incorporate it into paid advertising strategies. But you to do it properly, an SEO professional is going to be key. But this webinar here, we're going to be going through some things you can implement yourself to really get some value out of this. So a little bit more about it. That's the outline too. If you have any questions about that, let me know. Otherwise, we'll get into some more details and you can see them over here. And these are really the key components to tripling the sales in your business. When you get each of these components correct and working, they all work together. And when everything is joined together in the right way, then you're going to drive more sales into your business. Okay. And then that's a little bit what I talked about there. Again, today we're focusing on the SEO organic side of things. But of course, there are different methods to this. They make up this digital domination method that we use for our clients. And this core component is SEO, which we actually really recommend as being the foundation of any type of marketing that you're doing. You should always have some sort of SEO strategy in place, particularly in terms of the Google Business Profile, Google Maps listing. Now, as we dive into this session, let's get the most out of it. I always find the best thing to do this is to be distraction free. So turn off your cell phones, turn off Facebook. This is going to be interactive in that I want you to be taking a look at your Google Business Profile as we're diving into these different steps and do an audit on it yourself. And if you follow the steps over this next time of doing this webinar, you're going to get more leads driven to your business and get yourself some more sales. Now, key things we're going to go through today is, Google is always updating things. Algorithms change, the way the interface changes, that adjusts over time. The way things get ranked differently over the past year, a lot more with AI search. That changes how a Google search looks. So we're going to be diving into those latest updates in terms of the Google Map listing. We're going to dive into the 5 biggest issues that could be preventing you from ranking. So if you're not getting the leads you know that you want to be getting through your business, it could very well be that your Google Business Profile isn't set up or isn't optimized in the right way. So again, we're going to do a deep dive into that for yourself. You can check and follow along and see which of these issues might be preventing you there. And then a next step there, we've got a model, a couple of things you could do to really get things moving and then also to show you some of the best tools to utilize, some of the things we use for our clients to actually systematize things, automate what needs to be done, and actually make it easier on yourself as a business owner. Now, why listen to me? So, strictly being, landscape and hardscape contractor marketing, I founded this business because we wanted to work specifically in this industry and really provide the highest value by knowing the industry inside out, knowing what marketing strategies we're going to give the best return on investment. We're all about return on investment here. And then some other details. So we're members of the California Landscape Contractors Association. We love being a part of that. And then for ourselves, we're a part of an association for agencies, which helps us just fine tune everything we're doing on a daily basis to be better at what we do and deliver better results for our clients. So this is what we do. It's our mission to drive sales and growth for landscape and hardscape businesses. Our team, we're dedicated to making sure that your business succeeds, because if you're winning, we're winning. We're all hitting our goals, and that's how we grow. That's how we feel like we're fulfilled in what we're doing. And we love seeing results. We love seeing the sales figures. We love seeing the projects our clients have done. It makes our day. And here's a couple other businesses we're working with around the US who we're providing our packages, our marketing services for. Now, firstly, just answer the big question: do Google Maps matter? It's a common thing. I'm speaking to landscape business owners every day. One of the first things I actually do when I'm speaking to a business owner and when we're running an audit is actually check on the Google Maps, the Google Business Profile. And that's because it really is just so important. So many people are searching on their phone these days. The stats are about 60 to 70% of people are doing a Google search from their phone. And a lot of the times now, Google is just making this easy for that Google Maps listing to show up before a lot of other search results. So absolutely, they do matter. Now, if you haven't looked, if you're not sure what the Google Maps look like, typically on a Google search, you're going to see something like this come up. The top section there, you've got your paid search results. So Google Local Services ads and then Google Ads. There's two components to the paid searches. Next up is this 3-pack, which is the Google Maps listings. Now, 3 of them only ever show up once. So your goal and our goal is to go through in this webinar is actually to help you get seen through that 3-pack right there. And then underneath that, you have your local, what we call the organic listings, which is everything to do with your website ranking there. Now for SEO, you can see here the approximate calls or clicks by area, 60 to 70% in most niches and definitely in the landscape space. That's what people use. So there are some psychological reasons around why that is. Some people don't like to click on paid advertising as much as actually finding a business, researching it, and using that. So a key focus for our clients with their Google Maps profile and their website and the other marketing we're running, we want the customers who are searching for our clients online to have spent time looking through the reviews and have spent some time looking through the projects, because the type of customer who's going to do that, they're more interested in quality than just trying to get the bottom dollar, the price shoppers there as well. So if they're spending the time to do that, we're going to present things as the best way as possible. So to answer the question, Google Maps, absolutely, they do matter just on those numbers alone. Now, you might have seen this before. This is what's called a heat map ranking. Now, this shows up. It's tools that we use, and there's a few tools out there to actually look at your Google business profile, your Google Maps ranking for certain keywords. And what it'll show is these little dots, either a 1 or a 2 or 3, and that actually corresponds to which position you are on the Google Maps listing, whether you're on 1, 2, or 3. Now, this changes because Google Maps have this set up to be location dependent. So if you think about this as an antenna, the highest concentration rankings are always going to be closest to that Google business profile, but then you can do things to optimize that spread, optimize it for different keywords. There's hundreds of different keywords that are going to draw traffic to your Google profile. And so these tools are what's needed. And if it's green, it's good. You're in the top 3, which is where you need to be to get seen. Anything not in the top 3, you're not even getting to show up first. So that is the absolute goal there. And the other thing we talked about it is just pay-per-click usually is in that top section there, but you can't just rely on that alone without bringing in a solid Google Maps strategy. And if you're not doing that, then get into doing it. Do what you can on this webinar today, at least, so that you can start bringing in some more traffic and calls and inquiries that way. So a little bit of a detail here. This is what we use. It's our proven formula. We've done this for hundreds of Google business profiles, studied what works, studied the experts, seeing what other industries are doing around this as well. And so today we're going to dive into what are these key factors that go into ranking your business profile. And there's another example there. A really core strategy that we see works great for businesses. If you can get yourself in the Google local services ads at the top, and then you can get yourself down in the Google Maps listing there, the more real estate you're taking up, the better. I like to think about it, the game of Monopoly. The more properties you own on the Monopoly board, the more likely it is for someone to land on you, pay you rent, and ultimately you win the game that way. For our digital marketing strategies on a Google search, we want to be doing the same. When you're dominating that, then you're going to be the one winning in terms of jobs. So take a moment now just to take a refresh over that. Biggest question I would ask you now is, do you have a Google business profile set up? If you do, go ahead and open that up on your screen so you can take a look at that now. You might even want to do a search in your area and see if you are showing up on the Google map that way. Okay, so let's get into some of the biggest changes that have happened on your Google business profile over the last 12 months or so. So, firstly, number one is there has been a strong change. It happened about 5 months ago, a change in how you're ranking on a Google search and your opening hours. So, Google didn't used to take that into much of account. However, now it's publicly come out, it's publicly been announced that the businesses that are open when someone's searching are more likely to get shown. So this actually tells us that your ranking can actually change during the hours of the day, and we can go into some strategies on how to do that. But just be aware of that. Take a look at your Google business profile, see what your opening hours are right now. Are they accurate? Do they reflect your business? Can you push your opening hours earlier or later a little bit? What's your opening hours on the weekends? Do you have phone calls that you take, or does someone take phone calls? Because it could very well result in getting more business with that ranking change just from having your business open. Secondly, we're going to dive into this in a further part of the presentation, but now more than ever, Google is actually analyzing your website to see what service you're providing, which services area are you operating in, information about your business, and it's actually linking that back to your Google business profile. So that in turn affects rankings because Google is going to pull that information in and check, is your Google Business Profile services consistent with your website services? The more consistent that is, the more information you're telling Google about your services, particularly your key services, the better you're going to rank for those different keywords there as well. So in the outdoor living construction space, it's, do you do patio installations? Do you do driveways? Landscape design? These types of things, they can be spread out into different services, and you can rank for those different keywords for your website and for your Google Business Profile, but it needs to be consistent. And secondly, you've got to make sure that there is location content that you're sending back to Google. Now, that can be in the forms of specific pages built out for locations you're servicing. It can be making sure that your business address, things like that, are on your profile. Those are some of those key factors there to making sure that that's consistent. And then lastly, just wanted to touch on something here. The video verification process, if you've had to deal with this, Google has actually changed how they do the verification of these business profiles. Now, it used to be you would send you would get a PIN card, a postcard sent with a PIN number in it. It would get sent to the address of your choice. Google haven't been doing that now for about 2 years. What they are wanting now for businesses is actually a video verification process. And particularly if you're showing the address on your Google profile, if you have an office, or maybe you've set it up at home, you might have seen this here. But Google is actually looking for video verification in the form of signage, whether it's your vehicles or shirt like this, banners, walking into an office. These types of things are needed for that. So that is something big that has changed. We're getting these Google Business Profiles verified. Now, the next step here is we're going to take a look at and see if your rankings are being damaged, and maybe you don't even know. Maybe if you haven't done a rank check before, you just might not know that this is the case. But the key thing here is, because Google is so location centric, again, think about that, putting that antenna on the map. If you are picking a key service area that you want business for, really the core to getting ranked in that area for Google Maps, if it's anything more than really 10 miles or so away from your business, is getting an office set up there so you can actually put that address on your Google Business Profile. Otherwise, you're not going to be telling Google what those signals are. Even if you do a service area, which is the part of the profile where you don't show your address, that's an option. Wherever you initially verified that in, Google is still going to be thinking that is your general area. And so if you want to be ranking somewhere else, or you want business from another location, really the best thing to do is to work out an office situation to set this up and do it. And it could be the difference, paying for office space, depending on where you are, but maybe $200, $300 a month potentially. But if that is driving you thousands, $10,000 of extra business a month, think about the return there. What is well worth it. Secondly, we see this a lot. I see this a lot when I'm doing audits as well. Is over time, businesses can actually set up duplicate locations. And what this actually does, Google is usually in most cases going to kind of hide one of those locations. And if one has a lot of reviews and one doesn't, you don't want them to be hiding the one with reviews. So if you see that, there is actually a setting. You can click on the profile, mark it as a duplicate. Sometimes it'll do a search and tell you what that is, but that's going to help get that resolved so you're not hurting your rankings. And then lastly, you want to make sure across every listing online that your name, your address, your phone number, that they are all the same, particularly if you've changed addresses or done something like that, because these signals are the things you need to send back to Google about your business to make sure it knows really who you are. And that's a key part of these Google business profiles here. Number 4, the other thing here looking at is your primary category. So for instance, I mean, if you're not wanting to target lawn care, lawn maintenance services, be sure to check your profile. Make sure that is not listed on there. You want to be choosing something like landscape design or even landscaper, depending on what your core services are, because that is going to affect things if you haven't gotten that set up there. So that's in your profile in your settings. Now, the other thing, do you have enough reviews across the internet? Now, you can get reviews on a few places. Obviously, Google. You can get them on Facebook, Yelp, House, some of these other platforms. Really, Google should be your priority in terms of getting reviews, because we're strictly talking about the Google Maps and they show up on the Google searches before Facebook, before Yelp, and things like that. So get as many reviews together. But if you don't have a lot of reviews, I mean, if you're 5 reviews or less, you're probably barely showing up at all. So make it a point to get some more reviews there as soon as you can. Now, here is a breakdown of the different factors that are driving the rankings here right now. So the top one there is really your Google business profile elements is still key. The name is really important in your category listed there, followed by reviews, followed by the proximity we talked about. Do you have the physical address in terms of getting the office space, or even if it's your home? If you haven't touched anything there, the chances are Google have kept that as is. But for some business, we are seeing that they're wanting you to verify at an office address for that. Citations is all about making sure those sources are consistent in terms of name, address, phone. And then we'll get into this. On-page SEO is your website. Engagement means how many people are clicking through and looking at your profile, which is why those reviews, why those photos of your projects are so important. And then that feeds into the user behavior and then the links you have coming through your website. So let's talk about a few business profile trust signals here just to see what's happening with Google right now. Brand authority. If you're an established brand and people are searching for your brand online, those are great signals to Google that you're an important business, you're well known in your industry, in your area. The verifications, as we talked about there, again, postcard used to be a key method, which is not there anymore. But if you're verified using the live videos and things like that, that's a very solid way of keeping your listing live. Then we get to reviews. If your profile has been recently unsuspended, it's actually a good thing, because to get that live again, you probably have had to do some sort of extra verification to do it. And that extra information is going to be sending Google signals that you're an established business in the area there. And then we get to these last sections here, back-end engagement. This is your Google business profile, which we'll take a look at the back-end in a second. Are you regularly uploading images, keeping on top of your holiday hours, replying to reviews? These are great trust signals, followed by just in general, making sure your profile is fully complete. Some of the best practices around that is the primary business category there. We talked about that one there. Citation building, review generation strategy is absolutely important. We're going to dive into that. Optimizing your website, bringing in links, and tracking your phone calls is going to be a key practice there as well. So we're going to dive into some of these ones as well. We talked about the heat map. If you would like us to do a rundown of actually how your business profile is ranking, just go ahead there. You can click on the schedule link or go to our website and take a look. We'd be happy to run that report for you, just so you have an idea. So if you're struggling to kind of see where that is right now, you could go ahead and do that. Otherwise, now we're just going to dive into some of the things you can do to bring out these other areas. In terms of links, so Google is looking for local area relevance with your business. So the more you can send to Google about the area you're in, the area you're operating in, this is going to be important. Now, here are some great examples here. But if you're sponsoring organizations, clubs, and things like that, often they'll link back to you or do a social media post, which a lot of time would have a link, or will have discussions of your brand name. These different areas here are going to be really good ways to get some of those links coming over to your business. Some ideas there for that. And then just making sure that you have claimed it. Some other little key parts as well. We talked about making sure the back end of your profile is complete. So do an analysis now. This is a workshop section here. Make sure you have a login. So if you got the login handy, go in and do that now. Make sure your company name is correct. Make sure you have this attached to a website. It's actually a pretty common thing I see is businesses don't have their website connected to their Google business profile, and Google's going to have a hard time just finding out what your business is about if it can't link to your site. So do that one. Use a local number, so avoid those 800 numbers there. Local address. I mean, Google doesn't let you use PO boxes or UPS stores, so I mean, don't use those at all. Now, photos. Again, let's think about it in Google's eyes. It wants to see that you're an established brand. So put some photos up of your brand, of your team, of yourself in front of projects, of yourself with clients in front of projects, staff in the office, anything with trucks, branding, all of those different things are fantastic. If you're doing coupons for offers and specials, put that up on your Google business profile, send that information to Google. And then we talked about the opening hours there before. Now, this is what the Google business profile looks like. Now, Google is being a little bit sneaky, a little bit tricky with the profile strength up the top. So you'll notice there where it says it's complete. It's got the orange half circle complete. What Google will sometimes do is not do that completed if you're not running ads with them. So they're being a little bit sneaky about it. So don't worry about that too much, but go through each of these categories and make sure you've filled in everything that you can. Photos, as we talked about. Services, go through and list your services. And for bookings, if you have a specific booking link page, usually the contact page on your site, put that in there. And then you can actually check the performance of your Google profile with the performance tab there. So you can see calls and websites, clicks, those are the big ones, really. Messages are about to be taken away by Google in a month or two, so that'll be gone soon. But if you're using direct bookings, you'll have that section there as well. Now, that's the setup. That's how everything works in terms of ranking and what affects ranking. But what can you be doing regularly to get your Google business profile staying on top of the Google search? Now, photos, we talked about them regularly and consistently is going to be important for that. So make a habit with your team to schedule out those photos, put them on. Now, Google business profiles have a specific section called Google Posts. You can put offers there, you can link to services on your website. You should be posting, I mean, this says 90 days, but really now you should be wanting to post something at least every week there with original content, photos of your work. Make sure you're responding to reviews. That's important. And then there is also a questions and answers section there. You can have people ask questions and then you answer them. Or you as a business owner, you can actually put a question up about your business and answer it back. And that's a good place to put in information about your services. However, it is best if you have other people do it rather than you do it through your profile. But something there is better than nothing. So go ahead and do that. Citations is the next thing. You want to make sure that you're listed across all of these different places on the internet. So these are called citations, business directories, but really all of the big social media profiles are really key for that. Facebook, LinkedIn company profiles, Yelp House. Those are some of the big ones there. Making sure that your business is listed up online, putting your address on, putting your phone number on, putting the same name and branding. That's going to help Google put together a picture about your business, and there's a whole list of other ones just there you can take a look at. Now, aggregators are these data sets, these data collections They keep about businesses as well. And part of a citation building campaign is actually submitting that business information to these, who then push it out to these online search sites. So there are some ways to do it quickly there. We've got some suggestions here. These are two of the big ones that we find do work well in our agency. Bright Local and White Spark can do all that for you for a cost. Because if you do have the inaccurate listings like this, then it is going to affect your brand recognition and your rankings as well. So go ahead. You can run a report on Bright Local as one example there too. But again, if we're doing an audit for you, we'll go ahead and check all of that for you there as well. So some examples there. You can actually go through, manually claim them as needed there, and put all those businesses together without paying for someone. You can just do the manual work there. Okay, now the thing that we touched on a bit, which I'm going to dive into a lot more now, is reviews, because reviews have become so important for Google Business Profile rankings over the past few years. It's like it's gotten more and more important here for these to be put on. So you need to have a strategy for driving consistent reviews for your business. You need to have something in place for that, because if you're getting left behind with reviews and your competitor is using some sort of campaign, maybe they're working with a marketing agency, maybe they have some software they're using to help collect and build them up. If you don't have that, then you're going to get left behind. And the further that gap gets between the competitor reviews and you, the harder it is going to be to catch up to them. Because when people are looking online, the review count does have a factor in ranking, but it also has a factor in people choosing to contact your competitor over you. And if you're fairly close in the number of reviews, that's okay. But if there's a big difference, they have 50 reviews and you have 10, they're going to be calling that other company first in most cases there. So you need to make sure that you've got some tools in place to do this. We have software and automations we use in the agency to do that as well. One of the other key ones is you can get printed review cards, or even the NFC cards, where you can put your link on it, and the person, all they have to do is just hold up their phone and it pops up on their phone and they can leave a review there. We find that works really well when you're on the job site, maybe when you're doing handover. Getting the client to do some photos and posting that with the review is a really, really good strategy there as well. But preempting the review is great. Planting the seed, pun intended, with that, let the clients know from the beginning that your job, you want to deliver a world-class experience for them, and that you are going to be asking for the review at the end of the project, and do everything you can to get that, because then it just makes it so much more of an expected thing for people to do that. And if you're doing that for most of your clients, you're going to see those reviews quickly tick up. Make a call. You can have someone in the office or yourself call to walk them through, help them out in getting that review done. And then build into company culture as well, that it's trained into people on your team who are speaking to the customers, that you want to do a world-class, high-quality job, high-quality result for their review and for the customer satisfaction. Now, a couple of other benefits to that. We've talked about the ranking. We talked about the conversion. The star rating conversion is just really important, because if you're at a 3 or something like that, that's not a good star rating to be at. Most people are not going to be happy to speak to you first. But if you're in that high 4s, 4.6, 7, 8, 9, 5, the conversion, which we talk about that being the people actually contacting you because of your review, they're much more likely to do that. So the star rating obviously is important there too, but collecting the reviews, make that the first bench line. And if you're doing an amazing job, if you're doing a great job, they're going to give you a good ranking there as well. But then the last thing that sometimes is easy to forget about is, if you have these really amazing reviews coming through, you can market that on your profiles, on your social media channels, video content, a walkthrough of the project and things like that. And you might even have other local businesses or people want to link to you there if it's something that's done there where someone else is promoting it for you. They might share it on their social media profiles, and then you've got this word of mouth snowball effect. So that's something that's often not thought about, but that's a really important one. And lastly, you're just more credible for current clients who might come back for repeat work or for future clients that way as well. Now, we've developed a specific system for this called JBL Connect, and it automates really the bulk of this review process. And it's designed to be effortless because when it's a lot of work for people to do, then it's easy to miss. So, really, strictly speaking, the quick overview of how this works is the contacts that have come in, the prospects, the clients come into our JBL Connect system. And then you as a business owner, you just put them into whichever sales section they're at. So if you've completed the job, it's very easy from there to send off like an automatic review request, which can help rather than you having to manually do it. So in a nutshell, that's how it works. Just one click to get that done. There are other software platforms out there that can do this as well, help you manage reviews. But all I would say is if nothing else with reviews, work out a strategy to put into place to make it effortless for you to do the review collection. Now, something else that's come up as well in terms of automations and your Google Business Profile. Google Business Profile has had this chat feature in it for a while, and you've probably gotten spam messages for them if you're regularly checking your profile. Um, that is changing. Google has said they're phasing that out and they're moving to a text and WhatsApp situation as well. So this used to be present on your Google profile now as well, but you can have this present on your website. So a booking appointment scheduler here, you can have that on your Google business profile, but getting people to your site, there's some opportunities here to make the most of AI technology now. There's a lot of great things happening with AI right now in terms of being able to nurture leads or speak to customers. So with these chatbots, they can actually embed it on your be embedded on your site, be connected through chat on your Google business profile, and can help schedule someone. So maybe someone is contacting after hours, but it can schedule with you on your calendar a time to speak to that prospect the next day. On the horizon and launching soon, we have an AI voice answering service that's also going to be able to do the same, but for phone calls. Your business, you could be open 24/7, and in your after hours, the AI voice answering service answers the phone, gathers the prospect details, gathers the project details, and then can book in that. And then the next day you wake up, you've got those details about what's needed and they're on your calendar. It's just going to streamline and help things. But not only that, when you can show your 24/7 to Google and you have someone to answer the phone, being an AI in this case, then your rankings will actually improve there as well. So a lot of exciting things happening in terms of AI and Google Maps right now too. Now, the on-site website optimization, we've dived into this on previous webinar, but here's just a quick checklist to look at with your site. I mentioned making sure that your pages are set up for a service for each page. Cities that you're servicing on there, send these signals to Google, linking to your Google business profile to make sure that you'll have that information connected with Google there as well as some other details there. But it's gotten a lot more than just the on-page SEO, because citations we've talked about, that's off-page SEO. Online reviews, we've talked about that there as well. Another key thing here is strategic content syndication. So this can be done in the form of press releases about your business, posted on different news networks. But what they will do, they send this information across the internet, your name, your address, your phone number, but it can do things like embedding your Google business profile on that news article. And when Google sees there's these other websites, these press releases linking back to your profile, these are off-page SEO signals, which are going to help boost the ranking of that there as well. So simply put, I mean, just having a blog post up on your site is not going to be able to get you ranking really anymore for your website. So those are the rundown of those different strategies there as well. And as I said, it's all about this this EAT section that Google has come up. Experience, expertise, authority, trust are these key components here as well. So we can see for a business ranking factor, this is last year's data, some of this here. These signals are so important, and sending that data back to Google about your business, your branding, your entity, they call it. We call it an SEO. The entity, Google knows who you are. Best way to do that is to get this out here in terms of these signals from press releases, website, your off-page ranking, your Google business profile. When you've got all of this tied in together as a holistic SEO strategy, then you're going to get that more business coming your way. Okay. There's just a really strong breakdown there of that. Lots of different components to that. I'm not going to dive into all of the details there, but there is just a rundown. These are the ones that you can really control, so I'm going to spend some time on these ones here. So proximity, we talked about there, office space in the area you're in, but zip codes and geo coordinates, Google knows where you are on your phone. So when people are leaving reviews, that data is attached over to those reviews. So if you get that in the areas you want to rank for, that's going to send those signals to Google. Relevant, we're getting to the services here, making sure business categories are correct. When people are leaving reviews, have them mention the services that you provided. And that's going to send that relevant service detail back to Google, which in turn is going to help you rank higher for those services. And then prominence, we talked about that there just before. The brand mentions, link signals, and the content syndication, those press releases are going to help you do that over time. We already detailed some of that before, so I'm not going to go into too much information about that. But I will say, again, if you want us to run this audit and see where your Google Maps online visibility is, go ahead and use that link there and we can organize that for you. We also have a marketing checklist if you're wanting to take a look at both your Google Maps strategy and your other rankings and other strategies you might have in place. And, are you wondering, do we have enough going, or, what else can we do to bring in business? Shoot us a message. We'll get that out to you there to compare. And then we'll just take a moment there to answer any questions, see if anyone has something they want to check through with this at all. And if you've got anything you want to ask specific questions about that, put that in the chat. Otherwise, let's chat, schedule a call. We'd be more than happy to walk through an audit of your Google business profile ranking from here, as well as just take a look at your marketing strategy overall. Fantastic. This is Josh Blakeley with Landscape and Hardscape Contractor Marketing. Hope you have a great day. Thank you.